Radiant team. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Second. All right, we are here, folks, for the Netolic Raid Call Pro League Losers Bracket Round 2, and we've got some fantastic matches coming up for you today, folks. I'm really excited to see some of these games, and we're going to begin with Vici Gaming versus Invasion. And this is a match I'm very excited for. Two teams that both did extremely well in the group stages. We now see them both in the losers bracket, so they are playing to actually stay alive in this tournament. And VG, of course, they started in the winners bracket. They did fall 2-1 to AFD in what was a very interesting series that I recommend you all check out. Invasion, meanwhile, they started up in the losers bracket, but they did beat Mineski in that first losers bracket round. And so now these two teams face up against each other. Best of one, do or die situation here. And keep in mind our primary sponsor, Raid Call. You can check out Raid Call channel 2013. There are giveaways throughout the tournament. And this is your official English stream, Netolic TV, Netolic TV. I'm Vikramond, and let me introduce my co-caster, El Presidente. How you doing, man?
I'm getting some weird lag. Do you mind if I recall?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Oh, no, it's gone.
All
lag
right.
is gone. Sweet.
As long as we're good. So, talk about this draft to me.
Oh, alrighty. So, Vici Gaming, very standard picking and banning. Basically, they went for the Rubik ban. I guess that one deserves a little bit of mention, just because Rubik is kind of one of those special heroes, and it does imply that Invasion are going to be going for bigger wombo combo heroes that can get some really easily stolen abilities. Not Ravage. Reverse Polarity a little bit harder, but that said, a good Rubik might be able to steal it anyways. And Keeper of the Light, pretty solid abilities, but man, Invasion are pulling out all the stops and going for the Keeper of the Light Phantom Lancer pick right off the bat.
Wow, yeah, this is very much a power lineup. I like your insight about the Magnus, of course. A first Magnus pick is much more justifiable when you don't have to worry about the existence of Rubik. Why do you think VG chose to ban out that Rubik?
I don't know. I guess they feel that they really don't want to give it off to Invasion, and I don't know how I really feel about that, just because, I don't know, I don't feel like Rubik is that hard to beat in comparison to some other heroes. Like, I don't know, Keeper of the Light plus Phantom Lancer. It's hard to justify. That said, Invasion also kind of banned out interesting heroes like the Lifestealer Lone Druid and the Anti-Mage, so they're actually trying to take away all of Vici Gaming's carry options with all 5 of their bans. I
really like the Lifestealer Lone Druid bans. They're such high-tier heroes, particularly in this sort of Eastern Asian metagame. I like these as first bans, especially Lifestealer. I actually copped a lot of flack on, I can't remember which stream it was, but I claimed that Lifestealer was the most OP hero in the game, but I'll stick to that. He's pretty OP. If he's not the most OP, he's definitely up there. So, the other thing I wanted to talk about for this draft, or I was wondering your thoughts on, Elprez, is Shadow Demon, Nyx Assassin, Leshrac. So, we are seeing a fairly early pigeonholing of the Nyx Assassin into that mid-roll. So that will be CTY piloting up the Nyx, I guess?
Now, we could see something significantly stranger with a tri-lane with farming Leshrac, which we haven't seen since, like, TI. We haven't seen ever, actually.
Well, Empire actually runs it sometimes. They run the farming Leshrac. You're right, they could do that. Do you think that's likely?
It's possible. That's a really hard kill in, though. That's a lot of stun, disable, damage that Vici Gaming can put out. And that's even without necessarily using Edict. You can just go a pure lightning build on the Leshrac and do a lot of damage anyways. But Invasion just picking out all of these carries.
Right, but that actually presents a very interesting possibility to me, which is that if VG do intend to run this farming Leshrac lane, and they have 4th and 5th picks already in hand, basically, based on that plan. We could end up with Invasion basically wasting basically the entirety of the second half of their ban phase. It's not necessarily wasting, because VG still have the option to rotate into that. But this, I don't know, I'm very intrigued by the possibility of this Formula Shrek. I guess the issue is Phantom Lancer, not the greatest carry in the world to actually run a primarily magic damage dealing carry against, just because he does have that pretty good magic resist. It's not as bad as it would be against an anti-mage per se, but I'm still concerned about this Leshrac actually keeping up unless VG play a very aggressive posture.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case, especially for the Edict on Leshrac, because it is mixed damage. It barely tickles on Phantom Lancer once he starts multiplying. So
Right.
not even the illusions will notice it, because 40% of it's immediately cut out by Phantom Edge, and the rest of it's pretty much neutered by armor. So
Right.
mixed damage, not the best option against Phantom Lancer. Beastmaster agrees with that comment. But for Invasion, they still got to pick up an offlaner and a third support for the tri-lane, and that's kind of the problem right now. What support can they go for that would work well if they keep it light? And I'm thinking Lion.
Lion...
Bane has been
maybe
banned,
he's got
so-
a heavy amount of disable. He's not banned, unlike Bane or Rubik. Here we go, Sand King. So the Southeast Asia special. Always got to keep in mind the possibility of this Sand King when talking about the Asian metagame. Whereas in the West, their strength supportive choice is Earthshaker when they go for one. Here it's Sand King. So this gives them a lot of magic damage to contend with as well, frankly.
Personally, I always preferred the Earthshaker just because I think he's less countered by Pipe of Insight, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the
Sand
stun
King on
rate-
top of Magnus is more
that's
damage than
nasty.
Earthshaker's
That can
gonna
be
do.
real nasty.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if they were to get the pipe off on VG Gaming, I feel like it does more against Sand King than it does against Earthshaker. And did CTY just crash?
Huh, yes.
Oh, that's bad.
That is potentially an issue. We'll have to keep an eye on whether they comment on that in chat, because we don't want this to be random.
No, that would be less than convenient.
Oh god. Alright, hang on. Let me whip out a pencil. Yeah, so I did want to make some tracking notes, folks. If you're just joining this stream, we've had issues with the 720 plus, so if you're on 720 plus and you get artifacting or weird pixelation or what have you, I do strongly recommend that you switch off of 720 plus and onto good old normal 720. The other tracking note, of course, is we are contending with the possibility that we may have wonky servers today. The Singapore servers for Dota 2 are all being failed over to a new set of servers over the course of April 15th through April 26th. Obviously, we can't delay the tournament by 12 days just to make sure that the servers are 100% up and functional. So we're going to attempt to make do, but the flip side of that is this happens. So while this happens, let me make sure that I note what the...
Oh, CDY's back.
Yeah, but the problem is he has all of
he has
8 seconds to make a decision here.
Alchemist.
Oh,
Actually,
okay,
that
he
looks
made it.
about right. They like that Alchemist.
Yeah.
As weird and unfortunate as that was, I think we're actually possibly okay. Because we've seen VG run Alk before. I think this might have been the pick that they intended to take. So this does move the Nyx back into the mid-roll, which is not tremendously surprising. Because, as we noted, the Leshrac carry was going to have trouble dealing with the PL.
Absolutely, and I do think that Alchemist does still work in this tri-lane. It's very easy to land a good unstable concoction through a disruption. That's a very easy thing to do. That said, the last time we saw Alchemist in this fight, Merlini was feeding, so...
10 seconds remaining.
Well, they won that game.
Yeah, but that's because Funky Monkeys pulled out so much farm. And there's the offlaner.
Nature's Prophet. So here's a hero that's not nearly as played in this metagame. They give the Prophet to XTT, who usually pilots up the Darkseer or the Clockwork, but really Darkseer, who actually was not banned. So how does the Nature's Prophet fit into this overall picture for VG?
In combination with Leshrac, that's a pretty decent pushing base. The problem is Shadow Demon is only an okay pusher. Nyx Assassin can't really push, and Alchemist is another okay pusher. Tower raising because he attacks so fast, but
Yeah, so it's
that's
pretty
really
clear
about
out
it.
creep waves and stuff. and make it hard to counter push or approach.
Yeah, just because of the acid spray, but I don't know.
Prepare for
Acid spray is
battle.
another one of those weird composite abilities.
Right. Alright, so we have both teams. It doesn't look like we're remaking. It looks like we're going to go up into the game, which I'm very excited about. I was hoping that we would be able to dodge any sort of server issue. So, seems like both teams are happy, and with that, we will go to introducing who exactly is playing today. On Invasion, in the middle, we have Dan on this Magnus. We saw an excellent performance from his Magnus in their game against Mineski in the losers bracket, so we'll see if he can reprise that in this game. In the solo safe, we do have Li Jiwoo on the Puck. Then, the aggressive tri-lane going right up against VG's... maybe not, actually. In the aggressive tri-lane going 3 against 1, we will have Xiaobai on the Keeper of the Light, Snow on the Phantom Lancer, and Shenjiji on the Sand
30
King.
seconds to battle.
Yeah. Did you introduce VG? Because I was just taking notes from chat. Thanks.
Go for
Okay,
it.
on VG, we're seeing Fenrir playing the Leshrak. Vi will be on the Shadow Demon. ZSMJ taking his classic 1 role on the Alchemist, which is a really old school carry, so that might be why they pick it up for him. That's like something from his era, back when he was playing Pro Dota. CTY taking solo mid on the Nyx, and XTT on the offlane with Nature's Prophet playing solo safe. So this is an aggressive
Battle
tri-lane
begins.
being
both
run
teams.
against. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about a aggressive tri-lane with Sand King as your primary CC, just because that sun range is god-awful.
Yeah, early on, and the other issues, of course, in an aggressive tri-lane, it sometimes becomes difficult to get XP for all of your players. And Sand King, in the world of supports, is one of the most XP requiring. But do you think that maybe they just chose that so that they could avoid the 3 vs 3? That might be an even more important priority than making sure Sand King gets XP. Because I feel like Alchemist, Leshrak, Shadow Demon is really scary early game.
That might exactly be the case, but there's also the fact that they're offlaning against a Nature's Prophet, who has
Yeah.
no
Not a lot of-
escapes.
Yeah. Ooh, Shenjuji actually rotating to CTY. He just pops off a Burrow Strike. It looks like this is mostly harassment. And we might see Invasion take up a 2-2-1 posture to... Oh, uh-oh. But here come Fine Fenrir. Good support rotation. A little bit of the LGD in style. And there, first blood. Fi picks it up.
That is just some awful, awful luck coming out of Invasion. VG looking to rotate towards the top lane after seeing that 1v3 lane against Nature's Prophet, just happened to run into poor Shang Ji on the Sand King and
Well,
got
if
killed.
they had found Dan, they would have had a decent shot at him as well. I don't think it was solely a rotation. I mean, if it was solely a rotation, they could have run the more safe route like this.
This is true.
But instead, they ran the through the tier 1 like this. So I actually think this was very smart. And Fi and Fenrir, I honestly think, are a very, very good support pair there. Maybe my favorite part of VG right now. I feel like they really generate a lot of opportunities for them. And of course, Fi's Lina in that one game where he got like 250 last hits as a hard support Lina.
Yeah, it's just amazing how much flash farm you can do with just your 2 abilities.
Yep, absolutely. So VG continuing to try to generate an advantage, a 3v1 advantage in multiple lanes, but they do get spotted out when they come to the top, and so they're actually leaving, which is interesting. They may sort of rotate back to the mid to attempt to generate opportunities there, or we could see them go as far as back to bottom to make sure that the SMJ is safe here. But they certainly wanted a lane advantage. I mean, you can tell they're smoked up. So they're
they
gonna
got
head.
spotted by the rune when they
Yeah.
smoked up.
I think Dan's playing fairly safe here. They almost toss out an Impale. CTY does animation cancel it, and so just a ton of pressure still going out on Invasion across all lanes. We even saw ZSMJ take the stun first rather than the Greevil's Greed, and he's got 2 ranks in it now. So they want to keep generating kills. They want the early advantage in all of these lanes.
A huge inconvenience for Dan as a solo mid bottle crowing hero. He didn't actually get a flying courier until just now, so he actually ended up bottle crowing twice with just legging it.
Oh dear, Shenjiji, Sand King, not the fastest hero. He's gonna have to be very, very clever. He's still got the 1 rank of Burrow Strike. Good. He actually cuts into trees. Oh no. Here we go. Unstable Concoction being charged. Will he be able to shuck this? This would be... no. Unfortunately, he does cup the stun. Fenrir actually getting picked up by Li Jiwoo, and they're trying to turn this around. Good Burrow Strike from Shenjiji. He's going to keep fleeing here. If he can... No, XDT teleports over, and there's the 1-for-1 trade right there. Good that they even got a trade, but uh-oh. There's the Sprout. They're actually dealing quite a bit of damage to Li Jiwoo as well. He is going to have to flee under the tower. Puck will be alright, but I still think VG earning a pretty decent advantage this early on.
Yeah, they may have traded Fenrir for that, but I think, personally, getting a kill on a Sand King, as XP and farm dependent like a support that Sand King is, I feel like that's a more high priority target than the Leshrac. Especially because for Leshrac, if he gets his Edict off and you don't really need the Pulse Nova, it doesn't matter if he dies or not.
Right. I totally get what you're saying. I do think that Sand King,
Dire's top tower
it's going
is
to be
under
tough,
attack.
and Shen's been trying to find a lane where he can actually find safe XP. And VG are aggressively denying that to him. Dan could be in trouble here. CTY does have the DD route. He's going to throw out Impale, perfectly timed, and this is a dead Magnus right here. And 3-1 for VG. They do not want a super slow-moving game this time. I think they've had their fill of that with their last several series. And so now they really try to amp the pressure up. But XTT is being harassed at out lane very, very heavily now. This Keeper of the Light Phantom Lancer is in full bloom with just the constant Spirit Lance harassment, paired up with the Clarities to give him extra mana. And the issue for Invasion is they're doing fine in this top lane, but the other two lanes are not going well for them at all.
One of the nice things about playing a Phantom Lancer against the Alchemist is this, period, Alchemist doesn't scale as well with items than Phantom Lancer will.
Sure.
That said, a 1.0 BAT is absurd, but
Right.
it's not going to be as effective as, I don't know, 9 Phantom Lancers beating on you.
Right. Did you read the Dotametrics post about the farm dependency of heroes?
Yes, Anti-Mage ranked #1.
Yeah, but Alchemist higher ranked than Phantom Lancer, so I don't know what you're talking about. Looks like he scales better.
No, that's entirely different. They're talking about how much farm a hero needs to win.
Yeah. Here we go.
It just...
Targeting Puck. Will they land the Split Earth? Perfect Split Earth. Unstable Concoction to follow. And 4-1 for VG. Looking commanding so far. Definitely don't want any of the mistakes that have plagued them in their last couple of games to affect them here. And so far, they're looking very, very convincing indeed.
This is also the first game we've seen in a long time where VG are not running ZSMJ in the solo offlane. Which is...
I don't think they ran him solo in their games against AFD a couple days ago, did they?
I think they did.
Dire's top tower
No, not
is
the
under
anti-mage,
attack.
definitely.
back on
Oh,
track.
here we go again. ShenGG, he gets Split Earth. He tries to Burrow Strike out, but he just doesn't have the survivability. And Puck taking quite a bit of damage as well, just Dream Coiling to try to keep this Alchemist Shadow Demon Leshrac off his back. And Dan actually rotating over, but he still doesn't have RP. And oh wow, this is early game is going very, very tough for Invasion. Snow is getting good farm on the Phantom Lancer, and he's been safe so far, but CTY is on the hunt. He's level 7, 2 levels ahead of Dan, well, 1 and change. Snow actually doppel walks out of here, very, very smart of him, because otherwise this Vendetta would be on the prowl.
He's actually looking for...
Oh, Shen. Dan, actually, he's silenced up. They do get the Split Earth, but he manages to skewer as it's happening. Unstable Concoction to do more damage, and he goes down to the ultimate from Nature's Prophet. Puck copping a lot of damage as well. 5, very low, going to have to flee out. But they don't mind. They actually get the denied top as well. XTT playing out of his mind, considering how hard the lane he was in is. And, wow, I don't know. Seems like Invasion just didn't quite have the lanes work out for them.
Nah, it doesn't seem like that. Quick thing from the stream chat. Is last hits up?
It is, yeah.
Alright, cool. Because they've been complaining, apparently.
Well, they should stop complaining. No, stream chat, we really appreciate you. Ooh,
Yes.
Skewer, but it actually misses on XTT. And Dan is still level 5. He has to get this RP up. With RP, that would have been a trivially easy kill, and he just needs one more last hit. There we go, level 6 for the Magnus, but it's just a bit late.
It basically came down to the fact that because of good rotation coming out of VG supports, namely Fi and Fenrir, they got 1 kill on Dan and 1 kill on Cheng. That one put Dan in a very uncomfortable position whenever the lane crossed the river. He wouldn't really want to move up. But at the same time, it also makes it a lot easier for, what was I going to say? Oh, actually a really fun thing from CDY. He popped his Vendetta, then TP'd, so...
Yep.
That's actually really hard to do because of the instant fade.
Right. You have to have pretty excellent timing, but it doesn't mean that they aren't having too many lag issues, right? So that's good. CTY hunting the bottom, and we could see Puck right into this lead. Well, actually, CTY's Vendetta expires, but he does pop off the... Ooh, nice. Waning Rift Dreamcoil. Good response here, but unfortunately, it looks like Puck may cop a fall anyway. He does use Phase Shift. He's still alive somehow. Wow, nice work. Actually deflecting CTY off of the lane. ShenGG rotating in. He is level 5. He got a little bit of solo XP in the middle, and that's let the Sand King really catch up. In fact, the supports of Invasion are a little bit ahead of the supports on VG as far as the experience graph goes.
CTY.
Yeah, they're a little bit ahead overall, which is good for them. Meanwhile, we do have lots of CC going out on Dan here. He doesn't have 8 mana for the RP, and he does grab a fall, even though he gets CTY on the way down. And 2 kills finally on the board for Invasion, but in trade for their Magnus yet again.
Yeah, these are some big trades in reality. Fact is, a Nyx kill isn't worth nearly as much as a Mag kill. That said, Mag did finally manage to catch up in terms of XP to the Nyx, so that is a big deal.
Yeah. The 3 deaths of VG are 2 on Fenrir, who I think they definitely don't mind leaving at a fairly low level, and 1 on CTY. Actually, good stun on XTT here. Dan is coming. He's still got RP. He pops up. He just hits Fi. I thought he had XTT for sure. And unfortunately, Dan may actually drop again here. This may have been a disastrous move. He is purged up by the Shadow Demon, and yes, XTT picks up his 3rd kill of the game, and he's very close to his Mechanism. I don't even know what the status of Mechanism is on Invasion, but I don't think it's anywhere near. No, not even the intimation of a Mechanism on any of their players.
Well, Bai does have enough gold to pick up the headdress if he so desires, but he might be saving for the buckler. I'm not exactly sure what's going on as far as item progression on Bai. See how Bai? But yes, that said, yep, easiest reflection of CTY's life.
Yeah, CTY picking off that Keeper of the Light again. And this is going from bad to worse for VG, really. Their support levels are good, I feel, but their core levels and their core development is really lagging behind. I mean, level 9 Nyx Assassin right now is ruling the map just in terms of putting a little bit of intimidation onto Invasion's players. And CSMJ and XTT doing pretty well to develop as well. We do see XTT, he has 1120, so he's about 400, 300 off of that Mechanism, and that'll be pretty significant for them. ZSMJ, meanwhile, he's got the Perseverance. This looks like probably Battle Fury.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be Battle Fury. Definitely the best option for him to fight mano-a-mano with Phantom Lancer. That said, he might need a second one, because eventually those illusions are going to be quite tanky, and you want to kill them as quickly as possible.
Well, we'll see. He's, I think, more likely a Mjolnir in addition to the Battle Fury, but yeah.
The only reason why the Mjolnir, I feel, wouldn't be as effective, at least in this particular matchup, is magic damage does very little to anti-mage.
Ooh, VG going into a trap here. They bring ZSMJ over, but ChenGG and Dan are both waiting. Will they trap him? They need the skewer. They need the skewer very badly. There's the burst strike. Skewer to follow. ZSMJ actually has a lot of health, but there's the Waning Rift. There's the Dream Coil. They're doing a lot of damage to him, but he's defensively disrupted. He's actually still alive. Soulcatcher comes out. CTY's in here. They finally pick up ZSMJ with the skewer, but they're going to lose Xiaobai in the process. 2 deaths already pucked down. Phantom Lancer is here. Why is Snow here? He's going to try to get a pick off on Fi here, but he's probably going to cop a fall. XCT just doing one more auto attack. Yes, the Phantom Lancer hits the ground. Dan in a lot of trouble. His HP is falling rapidly. He RPs defensively. 1 second for Skewer. The Skewer might be enough to keep him alive here. He will. Oh, he skewers onto the high ground. Why would you do that? And there's the stun. It actually misses, so Dan's still alive.
They don't know he's there either. That's the best part.
Wow. No vision, I guess. And Dan, he doesn't have mana. He doesn't have any health. He can't even TP even if he had a TP, which he doesn't have, by the way. But he's alive, and that's what counts, damn it.
This is just really amusing, because I feel like if they decided to, they could have just put a tree up there just for funnies, and they would have spotted him.
But I think they didn't know to spot him. They assumed he went farther south, I feel, into the river or something.
Well, incidentally,
GG, he burrow strikes, but already there's the dust. Very good dusting from the supports of VG here. Disruption comes out, 2 stacks on GG. He tries to burrow, but the dust is still up. Another kill, and Nature's Prophet. It was a non-traditional pick, at least for this scene, but it's done excellent work for them so far. Because they have this incredible roaming gank potential. I actually missed a kill in the middle. We actually do see Li Ji Wu on the Puck getting picked off again. Of course, Puck, if he throws out an illusory orb and Nyx just walks into it and spikes Carapace up, that becomes a quick stun, and that's something that CTY can convert in addition to the rank 2 now mana burn. CTY doing fantastic. The 3-1-4. We actually see phase on this Nyx Assassin, which is not a tremendously usual pick, but again, for VG, it's all about mobility and generating ganks, and so far that's gone extremely well. The Shadow Demon Leshrac roam where they wilt, and then Nature's Prophet or Nyx Assassin join them with their amazing, almost global presence.
We do see Drums finished up on Snow, but I don't know if he's really... Well, actually, it's almost impossible to keep up with the item progression of an Alchemist. That's kind of his whole deal, but The fact is, for Invasion, it's really a matter of making sure the game lasts long enough for Snow to play some, as the Russians put it, rat dodo.
I mean, I think they need to... I agree with you. They're going to have to continue to take some licks from VG, because as we talked about earlier, VG has just this great early game fighting composition, this great ganking composition. Invasion's job is not necessarily to never die, but it's to not die enough that they fall so far behind that their Phantom Lancer can't do anything about it. Snow is farming quite well. I mean, 68 last hits, not a slouch at all. He has had mostly free farm, but he did come in to join a couple team fights. And so this Phantom Lancer is so important to their plans that they just need to generate enough time and enough space for him to be a relevant force.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be difficult at this point just because of the ganking potential that VG have. They are packing so much dust just because they've been getting sick and tired of Shang as well.
Well, it's Snow and Shang, yeah.
Yeah, so it's lots of things. But there's a lot of people from Invasion just sitting in this mid lane.
I think they're trying to prompt VG to sort of constantly rotate people over or worry about it, because they're putting pressure on this tier 1 tower, but they haven't actually successfully put that much pressure on it, is the weird thing. We do have a smoke. Oh, Fi is actually... No, it's not a smoke. It's an Invis rune. He spots out Snow. We do get the Purge. Here's XTT. The dust comes out. He's got rank 3 Doppelwalk, and it doesn't mean a thing. He's actually sprouted. I think Snow could go down here. 3 stacks of Shadow Poison, and there we go. He goes down to Fi's damage, and ouch, that Invis rune really, really cost them. Shenjiji is here. So is Puck. Oh my god, he's going to drop quickly. CTY just dispensing of the Puck with no trouble whatsoever. Spiked Carapacing to get out of here, and 2 bad deaths for Invasion. I mean, Puck okay, but losing the Phantom Lancer seriously problematic, and they don't even have the vision of this area to know that there's trouble.
Yeah, and not only that, they also lost this mid tower. Oh, RP on just
somehow
CSMJ.
It's just not catching 2 today. This is the least cheaty RP I've ever seen in my life. Fenrir may go down, but he pops Magic Stick, actually, enough to keep him alive for now. ZSMJ, he gets hit by Shockwave, but somehow there's still STT, just a good screening effect. Wow, what an excellent Sprout. Dan taking a lot of damage. He may go down to this last level of attack. Yes, XTT will get the pick off. And Invasion, they can't start the fights and they can't end them. CTY, picking people off on the back freely with the Phase Boots drums. This is one speedy little Nyx assassin.
Yeah, and I'm just feeling a Dagon in CTY's future.
He's the kind of guy who would get one.
This is true, but if Southeast Asia does it on Skywrath Mage, why don't they do it on Nyx Assassin? They're actually making another play on Snow.
Do they know which one? Yes, they do. Dust again, the Impale. The damage comes through, the mana burn. He's trapped in a Sprout. Oh man, XTT is a huge deal this game. This ganking presence of VG, such an aggressive posture. They're like, you want to pigeonhole us as a 4 Protect 1 team just because we have ZSMJ on our squad? We'll show you. And they are showing us, absolutely.
Incidentally, this is still pretty much 4 Protect 1. It's just that it's not so much protecting so much as 4 murdering the enemy team 1.
Yeah. And here's the problem for Invasion summed up in one graph. Net worth, CTY 6410, XTT and ZSMJ north of 7k, and we've got Snow at 4.3k. His farm is slowed down drastically because he's just getting picked off again and again, and Invasion can't find the farm or the map control to actually give him safe space.
Shadowblade is picking
Purge up on Puck. A lot of trouble here. Phase. He still can phase. The Dream Coil pops. The Nature's Prophet ultimate to go through, and Shadow Demon damage once again. The ganking power of this hero is just, you can't overestimate it. This rank 4 Shadow Poison has done so much work. Fi, in fact, is 5-1-7. Oh no, the stun on Snow. There we go, the Vendetta damage. They decide not to go for it because they were under 2 towers. But still, just putting the Fear of God into him a little bit, keeping him off the lanes, keeping him out of anywhere that he can farm. And Alchemist moving towards the Shadow Blade quickly. We do have 2 Shadow Blades basically up on VG, Nature's Prophet and Alchemist.
Yeah, and honestly, they're both not exactly the kindest people to have Shadow Blades up against you. Alchemist, because it makes it very easy for him to get the Unstable Concoction off without any difficulties. And for, for Nature's Prophet, it lets him push with a little bit less fear because he can just Shadow Blade and TP, and because it is a cast animation, not a channel, it doesn't break his invis. So
absolutely. No, I mean, they're fantastic heroes to have a Shadow Blade, and furthermore, because Shadow Blade gives you additional movement speed, and it stealths you, this is just so much extra mobility. Their plan is just to run Invasion off the map, and so far they're doing an admirable job. Good skewer, actually. Very smart RP as well, as soon as he sees that he has a Nyx Assassin on his horns. But unfortunately, it's not nearly enough to get the kill here. Shen-Ji rotates immediately into a Split Earth. Fenrir and Fi having a very, very excellent support game this time. Like I said, I really like this support pair. I think they're actually getting really, really good. And this game is really a showcase of their skills, because they've generated so many of the opportunities that CTY and XTT have followed up on.
It comes down to they also have a solid support lineup with Leshrac and Shadow Demon. That's a lot of damage and a very easy setup for it. And it looks like VG are going straight for the Roche, and this should be pretty fast because, you know... Yeah, Acid Spray reduces armor by quite a bit.
Yeah, no joke. Roshan, he drops in about 20 seconds or so, and that's going to be an Alchemist Aegis. Shadow Blade is complete, Battle Fury complete, and an Aegis on top of it. Just look at the vision situation here. Look at just how much VG know about Invasion. They basically know everything. They've covered off every area. Oh man, CTY is huge. Look at how easily that puck drops. It's almost depressing. CTY at the Spiked Carapace. Excellent timing from Shen-Ji. They're actually going to pop Epicenter just to get a kill here. They will probably... Oh, man, FY. How did he keep CTY alive there? Just the Burrow Strike damage enough. Danny is actually soul catching. And CSMJ, oh my goodness. He's a beat stick right now on this Alchemist. Shen-Ji probably going to make it out. We actually see a buyback from CTY. He's decided that he doesn't need items just yet. He still has 1,800 even post-buyback, so... Even with Epicenter usage, Invasion still trade 1 for 2.
Yeah, they were only barely able to snag that kill as well. Like, that was really close for Invasion to get that, and they lost Mag again.
Yeah.
Just for that next kill. And basically, what we're seeing is that Nyx has hit critical mass, basically, for his team. He is picking off enemy support without any problem, and it's because he's level 14.
Right.
Mag, on the other hand, not even level 11.
Yeah, that's the issue. Dan has 6 deaths. He's 2, 6, and 1. Whereas CTY is the mirror image of that. He's 6 and 2. And so that and the fact that he won mid. With the help of Fi and Fenrir. Oh no. Xiaobai. Oh my god, it's just awful to watch. I can't even watch this. I can't watch this. It's fun. But Dan is immediately pushed off of the lane. Nyx Assassin, just the pressure coming out. He has a double kill. Shen-Ji trying to kill Fi here, but these defensive disruptions are just way too freaking good. Fenrir picking up the tower kill. 4-4-1 build for him. Edict for max damage. XTT walks away inside of the Shadow Blade because, of course, the dusts were on Shen-Ji, and he's on the ground. Another 2 outer towers picked up for VG. Just 1 tier 2 tower remaining, and their 3 to 5 level advantage is just making it impossible for Invasion to really respond to these ganks. This Nyx Assassin is ruling the roost, absolutely, and so it's the SMJ picking off the last outer tower there, moving towards his Assault Cuirass. And what do Invasion do? What possible game plan can they enact from here?
Like, the game plan hasn't changed for Invasion. The execution has to. They gotta get their farm on.
Right. Oh, Split Earth. They landed on snow. The Spiked Carapace does actually hit Puck in the back as well, but I think they're okay. This is mostly just for CTY to escape from here. And up. Here we are. We've got the Dagon 1, and he's starting the 4-staff.
Yeah, it really comes down to the same game plan. If they can get snow ultra huge, they can make up for the deficit. Fact is, once we get to the 40...
Oh man, Xiaobai caught in the corner here. Fi is just going to pick him up with Shadow Poison and the Disruption Illusions. Yep.
Yeah, it basically comes down to Alchemist is going to get 6 slotted in like 10 minutes.
Sure.
Right, so at that point, Alchemist is done. He has hit critical mass.
Right.
But Snow will hit critical mass in, at least at this rate, 30 minutes. If they can last 30 minutes...
If they can last 30 minutes, and it is going to be a long dark night of their souls here, as Puck, Li Ji Wu getting picked off by CTY in the back, Dan doing his best job to clear, but XTT on the way in, ZSMJ on the way in, there's those Shadow Blades, the initiation potential, oh, Dagon almost picking off a kill there, but 2 down again, and it's just, if you're Invasion, you feel like you just can't leave your base, and I think you actually kind of can't.
If they
added a gem, if VG added a gem, I think it would be it. Like, even Phantom Lancer wouldn't feel safe leaving base. And VG, they actually are high grounded. They've got this Aegis. Why the heck not? XTT still hasn't died. He's 7-0-8. He has his demon edge. They're breaking down this base. The tier 3 stays alive for now. Spoke too soon. CTY is just going to get a trivial pick off on Xiaobai there. He had no HP on the Keeper of the Light. XTT continuing to pressure. The ultimate comes through. This level 2 ultimate, soon to be level 3, doing very respectable damage. And here we go. The completed Cuirass. ZSMJ beating down their front door. There's the epicenter, but a good defensive disruption again. Can they finally get the RP they need? RP on 3. ZSMJ picking off Snow in the back. The RP ends up meaning nothing because they have no follow-up. And there's the front door and Invasion. They put together a great performance this tournament so far, but unfortunately, VG, they came to fight. They came to show that that last series against AFD was hopefully more of a fluke than some people may have surmised it was. They didn't manage to get what they wanted done there, but here they take an incredibly aggressive position, still find their farm, while also just demolishing Invasion. Just wiping them off the face of the Dota map in a 24-minute bloodbath of great mobility, support rotations, Shadow Blades, Vendettas. There was no aspect of this game that VG were not in eminent control of.
Yeah, this is really what ended up happening for Invasion was that they just could not keep any of their crucial heroes alive against the ganking potential of VG's lineup. And that's even counting the Alchemist. With that Shadow Blade, Alchemist is basically turned into a ganker.
Oh yeah, I mean, he went heavy. He went Unstable Concoction rank 2 by level 3, so he was definitely ready. Their mobile ganking force was the entire, like, raison d'etre of their composition, and they played it to the hilt, honestly. XTT, he had a tough lane, but as soon as you sort of hit the point at which he could no longer sustain himself there, which is really only at the point that Snow really has his rank 2 or 3 Spirit Lance, as soon as he hit that point, he just constantly left to generate gank opportunities. And yeah, I mean, Invasion hunted right into their fountain here. ShenGG just managing to burrow strike himself to safety here, but they picked up one additional kill there. But you could just see in that fountain farming type of situation just how far behind Invasion found themselves. Because they just couldn't stay alive. The only lane in which they could keep anybody alive was Phantom Lancer at the top initially, and only because VG concentrated the least of their ire there, at least at the beginning.
Radiance Ancient is under attack.
Oh wow, they actually got
good RP, but nothing's gonna happen here. They have 1 second left for that epicenter. They really need to actually try to get that. Oh, just the the incidental damage from the acid spray. ShenGG, no! Oh no! Oh no! Okay, he gets out. He's alright. He's okay.
Foreshadowing.
Oh, there we go, XTT with his first death, ruining his post-game score screen. I'm disappointed in you, XTT, but overall, I am certainly not disappointed in VG, who reverse a recent trend of their last 4 games have probably been the least convincing 4 games of their tournament so far. But this game, extremely convincing. Absolutely fantastic play from each player of the 5. Huge Shadow Demon this game. XTT, the perfect pick, played to the hilt, and CTY just with a very dominant performance of this Nyx Assassin, winning the mid, putting the fear into Invasion's heavy intellect lineup, and just... Actually, it's not even heavy intellect, but it felt like it, because these heroes were picked apart like sandpaper. Not that you can pick apart sandpaper, that's... I mixed up
You can pick apart Sand Kings, though.
Yes, you can pick apart Sand Kings. So Sand King playing like sandpaper. Alright. Invasion, unfortunately, we do see them knocked out of the tournament with this game. Meanwhile, VG, they advance to the losers bracket round 3. Folks, don't leave us. We will be going to the Orange versus First Departure game in just a few minutes. I'm extremely excited about that one too. 2 fantastic teams. Orange, of course, another team that we had favorited to take the entire Eastern Division, but then we did see them drop a bit. So, will they be able to sort of recover and take it out over First Departure, or will the growing team of FD be able to take that game? We'll find out just a few minutes. Don't go away, folks. Thank you for watching. Netolic Raid Call Pro League, VG versus Invasion, Orange versus FD coming up next. This is your official English stream, Netolic TV, Netolic TV. See y'all in a bit.